It's Hannah Fletcher, and I'm joined today by Kayla Galloway. We are going to be talking all about the new Selling Sunset trailer that Netflix just released. But before we do that, make sure that you guys have liked this video. Make sure that you're subscribed to us here at Shared News, and make sure that your notifications are turned on so you guys don't miss out on any of our future videos. Now, Kayla, how are you feeling? Are you
Yeah,
excited to be able to get into this?
I am. I feel like it's been a long time since we had new Selling Sunset content. When was last season 5? I don't even know. So I'm excited to finally get back into it and see what these ladies have been up to.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited. I'm excited that they released this trailer. I think that there's a lot to unpack, so I'm excited to dive in. And yeah, I don't know when the last season came out. It's been some time, and you know how I gauge that
It's
because
been a
Heather's
minute.
pregnant in this. So that, and I'm like,
Yes.
and there's no baby, so I know that it's been a little bit of time. Um, but yeah, before we get into the trailer, I want to get your opinion, and we'll kind of even touch on this too later on down the road. But what do you think is going to happen in terms of obviously, we know that Christine was released from the show. Do you think that this is going to help or hurt the show? And yeah, talk to me. What are you thinking? I have an idea, but I want to hear you go first.
I am thoroughly worried.
Yeah.
I really think Christine was such a big part of the show and almost seemed like all the drama surrounded her specifically. So it almost feels like a start from scratch. I feel like some of these other ladies who have been able to kind of just hang out while all that kind of craziness was happening with Christine are gonna have to step up and say more or do anything really. I feel like Christine was she was the main character, even though they kind of push it as Chrishell. I really think Christine really pushed the storylines.
She does. And the thing is, at the end of the day, Christine calls people out, which is what the producers love. And that's what the cameras love to document too. And is she the best person in the world? Probably not. I think that she was dedicated to her job and she played the villain well. She did. Like, no matter what you think of her. And I'm not the biggest Christine fan in the world. Normally I pull Chrishell. Um, at the end of the day, I mean, she did her job and she knew what to do, and she was the perfect embodiment of she was able to be the one bad guy to everybody's somewhat good guy. So I think that it's going to be interesting without having her involved, but we'll have to wait and see. Yes, we
I'll
will.
miss her
Also,
fashion
yeah,
too. It was next
me
level.
too. She was like a Barbie, man. Like she looked
Incredible.
good in every episode. Definitely. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's kick off the trailer, and we are live. So make sure that you guys comment as we're watching the trailer and as we give our feedback. Let us know what you guys think about what it is that we're talking about. Please feel free to chime in. We'd love to hear your comments and to read what you guys are saying. And maybe we'll be able to shout you out and talk about your comment too.
I know people think I'm having a midlife crisis, but I'm having an awakening. Fix that thing! But goals don't change. Ring that bell and cash.
All right. So we have Chrishell kicking it off. What do you think about that comment there where they're talking about where Chrishell says that she's having a crisis, a midlife crisis? What do you think that they're referring to there?
I think just because now that she's with G Flip, I just think that
Yeah.
she was just with Jason. It is kind of a different change that people didn't realize that was Chrishell before. But I mean, I'm so excited to see her relationship with G Flip. And Chrishell looks really good too. Like all of her
She
outfits we're
does.
seeing, who knows? Maybe this is her season. She's being her true authentic self. And, sometimes people find that later on in life. And I just hope she leans in.
Yeah, I'll be honest, until I saw something recently. I just learned that she was with G Flip like within the past month or two. I didn't even know. So I'm
Oh,
excited
really?
that that's going to yeah, I had no clue and I do
I
follow
love
her on
them.
social media, but like when things just don't pop up on your page, I just never see when she
Sure.
posts. So I have to go to her page. So but I really love Chrishell. I'm excited. Like you said, I think she's going to be her most authentic self. And you know what? I can't stand that she's getting hate or backlash. I'm like, Chrishell, just live your life. I've always thought that she's super nice. And I'm just excited to see, like you said, she's gonna be authentic and living her best life, and I'm excited to see that. So no midlife crisis here, girl. Not on our end. You're good. You're good.
Exactly. All right. And then are we going to go to the next clip?
I think
Or
so, yes.
Some checks. He's taking off for Europe with Mary Lou.
I want you to run the listings, the office, the agents,
Good morning. Look at that little bump.
everything.
Really? Oh! And leave the purse. We'll buy a new one.
I'm cracking up. I wonder what they're running from there. Is that like a bird or something in the house?
something like that. I'm not even
Yeah.
sure. But Mary looks great. I like her bangs. She should do that more often.
Me too. So we see that Mary is going to be stepping in and having the opportunity to run the office, which could you imagine running an office of that caliber with that amount of money with those women? I mean, that's a lot that Mary's getting put to do. What do you think of them making that decision to be able to leave it to Mary? Do you think that that's going to show any type of favoritism? Do you think that's going to stir any type of pot? What are you thinking, Kayla?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think Mary's been around a really long time, and so she's the
Hmm.
best person to be in that role. But I do think it's going to start a lot of tension because these girls are her friends, and really mixing kind of business and friendships, especially when you're in like a boss role, it can really cause tension, whether like they want it to be or not. Mary kind of has to take certain stands that maybe she wouldn't before if she wasn't in that position. So I feel like we
Hmm.
might see some butting heads with maybe Mary and some people that she's normally close with in past seasons.
That's kind of what I'm thinking too. I think that, like you said, she's been around the longest. We know that she's even been with Jason, in a romantic way as well. I think that it's a good idea on their end, but I think this is one of those things that Mary probably went home to Romaine and was like, "Oh my gosh, they're gonna let me run the office," and then like it implodes. Probably, I'm sure. So poor little Mary. I've always really
Yeah.
liked Mary too. You know, Oh, GH girl says
Yeah.
Mary looks different. She does look different. The bangs are a huge change for her.
I think the bangs change a lot. Maybe she has a little bit more contouring, but I don't think she's had
Mhm.
anything done that I know of. But I mean, honestly, who knows? I mean, we are in LA, Beverly Hills, but I think bangs can change people, the way people look.
Definitely. Well, and I know that she's in her upper 30s, I think, or 40s now. So I mean, the other thing is
Oh,
too, I
yeah.
feel like bangs make you look a lot younger too. So I mean, she looks 5, 10 years younger in my opinion, but I really like them. I think that they look good on her. I think she wears them well.
Same.
All
I
right. Yeah.
love Mary and hope we'll see kind of how that pans out. It's interesting that Jason's just kind of dipping out.
I don't
Like he's
really know
like,
what it
bye.
I know. I think it's interesting that he's leaving and putting Mary on the spot. Something that I've really thought about too after watching this is, do you think that he's putting Mary on the spot intentionally? Or do you think that they've had this conversation before? Or do you think that this is kind of like a surprise and he thinks that this is going to be the best thing in the
I
world
feel
for
like
her?
yeah, I feel like we've seen Mary get more and more responsibility every single season, and I think we saw like a big step. I think wasn't it like she helped with the Newport office or something like that last season. So I mean, I think it's gonna been a gradual incline, and probably her end goal is to have be ahead of some type of brokerage, so she doesn't have to do as much of the legwork.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Well, I think it'll be interesting, and I'm surprised that he's just up and leaving with Mary Lou. I think that there's going to be some implosion there. Definitely 100%.
Yeah, Jason and his new girlfriend every season.
Oh, I know. Literally.
Sorry,
All right.
shade, but oh
It's
well.
true. It's true. All right, let's go on to the next clip.
What do you guys know about the new girl?
I don't think the O group is ready for me, but I think this is a perfect listing to show the caliber of houses I can sell.
Wow.
Are you ready for this?
People say there's something alluring about mystery. I can't stand it.
Ooh, okay. I have to admit, when I saw this part, I was like, what is this modern day Wild West Cruella DeVille type of entrance? I feel like the way that they're editing this is they're really trying to make her be like the new Christine. But I feel like
100%.
with Christine's like aura about her, it's like she had so much bottled up in her that it has to disperse to so many other people. You know what I mean? What do you think of this entrance? What do you think? This is Brie, and she is one of Nick
Mhm.
Cannon's baby mamas. So what do you
Yes.
think of? I'm trying to be as politically correct about the term, but it is what it is. It's an ex of Nick Cannon. What do you think about her
Mhm.
entrance? Do you think that she's going to be the bad guy? Where do you stand with all of this?
I think they're trying to set her up as that. I definitely think, even with this outfit we're looking at now and the red lipstick, like, I think she
Mhm.
has that aura that Christina had of like that confidence that I don't think everyone has. And I think it's smart because we did lose such a big piece of Selling Sunset when Christine left, that they're bringing in
Mhm.
not just a new face, but someone like, that connection to Nick Cannon is such a pop culture like phenomenon of Nick Cannon kind of having all these children. So bringing that
Yeah.
in, I feel like, it's a reason to watch, on top of just already being a Selling Sunset fan. I feel like there's that added element of like, oh, I want to find out what's the situation with Nick Cannon. There's all of these different mothers. What are those people like? You know what I mean? I feel like there's a mystery surrounding Nick Cannon and his
Yeah.
situation. So I think people could be watching just to kind of, be a little less mystified. But I mean, according to Chelsea, it's still mysterious.
Yeah, exactly. I'm hoping that they touch on it a little bit because I mean, I grew up watching Nick Cannon, I think back on like Nickelodeon in the day. So I knew him when he was like that version of Nick Cannon. Now, the version of Nick
Mhm.
Cannon as an adult, I really have no clue who he is. I just have heard what he's done. So I'm hoping that we get a little bit of insight to him through Brie
Yeah,
while she's on the show. Like you said, she was a good choice. She's a pop culture kind of icon. She's a representative, you know.
exactly, and I think that's smart on their part with the casting, for sure.
Yeah. And then what I thought was really interesting too is Chelsea said, "People say there's something alluring about mystery. I can't stand it." That
Interesting, interesting.
sent me
I'm
for a minute
curious.
there. I was like, "Whoa."
Yeah, I feel like there's gonna be prejudgments with all the girls because of that kind of background of hers. But
Mhm.
maybe if Brie is still like not opening up, I feel like that might be even building even more walls with these girls. And so I feel like any reason she gives them, they're gonna take it and run with it.
I think so too.
You
Yeah,
know what I
and I'm
mean?
wondering I think for Chelsea, I think that she I don't know, she strikes me as kind of territorial. I mean, they all are to a certain extent. Nobody wants a new
Yeah,
girl coming in because everybody wants to know how to control the
sure.
room and control the people that they're already around and how to operate. So I just think that it's going to be interesting. I feel like her saying that already, it's yeah. I think that there's definitely going to be some turmoil and some tension that sets in.
I totally agree. And I'm a broken record, but all these girls just look amazing. They're
They
killing
really
it
do.
with like the glam, the fashion. So at least we're still gonna
Oh,
have
I
that
know.
element because I do think the fashion and like the looks are like its own character in Selling Sunset.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I've been so heavily influenced as much as I can be, by their looks and by their appearances as far as like the fashion goes. I love being able to look to them and kind of knowing like what's on trend. You know what I mean? You know that they just dress to the nines. You know that if you took the back of any tag in their outfits, like it's a designer that is
Oh
sold
yeah.
it on Rodeo. You know what I mean? Like
No
it's
TJ
the
Maxx in their closet.
oh god, not even Nordstrom Rack. They're Nordstrom at minimum. Like there's no rack,
Yeah.
you know? Oh my goodness. All right, let's go ahead and go on to the next clip.
We've got Nicole. She's full time now.
Good to see you again, my dear. I've been at the Oppenheim Group for over 8 years. Real estate's everything for me.
Another broker reached out.
From O Group?
Yeah.
Oh.
We have some bad eggs in the office.
Emma Emma cracks me up. She said we have some
Emma
bad
and her
eggs.
empanadas.
All right, so Emma says that we have some bad eggs in the office. And then also
Mhm.
we see this new girl now, Nicole, in addition to Brie. What is your gut instinct reaction when you see Nicole? How do
I
you feel
think
about
what
her?
she's gonna bring, because she has been with the company so long, something completely different than Brie. I think she's gonna know really the ins and outs. She's gonna know where all the bodies are buried. So I
Yeah.
feel like that is going to be interesting. Just looking at her, I feel like I don't know. She might be a little problematic. I'm not sure if she's gonna be a favorite. Like Brie, I might love to hate as the villain. I'm not sure how I'm gonna feel
Mhm.
about Nicole yet. I feel like I need more time to have a full fledged opinion.
That's kind of where I'm thinking too. I think that so what we know is this girl's been with the Oppenheim group. I think she says for 8 years. Now keep in mind too, she's been with the Oppenheim group. She just hasn't been a part of the show. So here's the interesting
Mhm.
thing. Why is she coming into the show now when we've lost a main player? Are you trying to be the new Christine? Are you coming in intentionally and trying to stir
Mm.
things up? You like you said, you know where all the bodies are buried. You know the ins and outs of the tension. You know what makes people tick. You're at an advantage because you've been able to sit for 5 seasons and watch everything. So you know exactly where to go in and kick dirt up. So that's kind of what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
no.
And also, like, we don't know, like, if she's part of the Oppenheim group, was she friends with Christine, just not on camera? Is she going in and doing dirty work for Christine on Christine's behalf out of like spite because Christine was released? Like, we don't know these things. I think Nicole's gonna be an interesting asset to this show.
Yeah, I think another big thing is like the difference between these two, like Brie and Nicole,
Yeah.
is I think the reason why like some reality shows work so well, like even like Real Housewives or Vanderpump Rules, is like the real friendships. If that's real and not as
Hmm.
much orchestrated, they don't just like pluck pick someone from casting that like they're meeting them for the first time. If you have that history, which I'm assuming Nicole does with some of these ladies, it just
Hmm.
adds a depth and more interest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I think that it's gonna be I think she's gonna bring it. I really, really do. I think Brie might be the quote unquote villain, but she might be the new villain
Mm,
that keeps to herself, kind of thing. Or maybe not villain, but
okay.
maybe if she's not liked, I can't see her necessarily wanting to get as involved with drama as I feel like Nicole is going to. But I'm not 100% sure.
Oh,
GH girl
did you see
said,
this comment?
didn't Nicole officiate Mary and Romaine's wedding?
I
Ooh,
do not know the answer to that. I'm gonna like have to like
I'm not
Google
sure.
this like right afterward.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Oh, okay. It is a yes.
All right.
Okay, so that means she's really close to Mary, which I mean,
But
interesting. Okay.
okay, but now this is a couple seasons ago. I'm not exactly sure where they would stand right to present day, but I know that Christine and Mary obviously were close, and then now they're not anymore. My thing is, I just feel like this girl's a spy for Christine. I really, really do. I feel
Ooh,
like she's
I
either
like
trying
that
to
take.
replace her. I don't know. I'm totally just speculating. I feel like she's either gonna try to replace her and take her spot and take her energy and take her dynamic, or she's like in on Christine's behalf and trying to get the revenge of Christine. So I think
Yeah,
that's kind of interesting
interesting.
that she officiated the wedding. Ooh. Hmm.
Yeah, thank you, that commenter. I had no idea. I'm
Yeah.
obsessed. And I also
Yeah.
think, like, because she has been there for like 8 years, I wonder if there's
Yeah.
some jealousy when it comes to Mary getting the role of kind of boss. So maybe we'll
Oh,
see that kind of play along with things, for like that kind of what I was saying before with that friendship and business. It can be like tough sometimes.
you are so right. You're so, so right. So we don't know. So yeah, I didn't even think about it that way too. That's really interesting. So I wonder if we're going to see stuff go down between her and Mary. Probably. I mean, I feel like everybody has a moment with everybody at some point. But then also you have like and we'll get to it in a second. I know with her and Chrishell, they kind of have a moment there, and I know Chrishell and Mary are friends. Wow, this is okay. This is getting deep.
Yeah, that's
This is
why it's
getting really,
good when
really
they
deep.
like already have those pre-existing relationships. It just makes everything so much more interesting.
I think so too. Nicole popping out of nowhere but somewhere was actually she's calculated. Look at her. Ooh,
I'm
all right.
I'm feeling more optimistic about this season now that we know this information.
Yeah, me too.
Like I
Me
was a
too.
little
May
worried, like
19th.
we were talking about Christine being worried, but like between Brie and Nicole, we might have something here.
I think we do. I think we really, really do. All right, let's keep going. I'm pumped. Okay, let's keep going.
Office.
Chrishell will do anything that will benefit her. You took credit for 2 listings that I sold.
You're clearly out to get me, and I want to get to the bottom of
Okay.
it.
Okay. So Chrishell says, "You're clearly out to get me, and I want to get to the bottom of it."
Mhm.
Seeing that chunk right there makes me feel like I'm backing my statement. I think that there's something she's doing on behalf of Christine. I think she's maybe friends with Christine off camera, and she's carrying that grudge into the show. And I think that she's going to carry it with Chrishell. Do you really think that Chrishell did that? I don't think so.
Chrishell, took the listings.
Um,
I don't know. I go
yeah.
back to this. I mean, take it with a grain of salt. I saw this podcast with Christine Quinn and saying that
Mhm.
she basically has only actually sold 2 houses, that it's kind of just for show. So I'm kind of interested in
Ooh.
like if those 2 things correlate. Potentially, but kind of my prediction. For some reason, there's something, even though it's not showing it as much in this trailer, maybe it'll be more like a mid-season trailer because I think it'll be a slow burn. Is Chrishell and
Mhm.
Mary? What if Nicole is like has Mary's back as the number one? And I feel like there might be tension with Mary and Chrishell because of Jason, maybe
Mhm.
because like there might be
That's
tension with her being a
true.
boss now and they have to change up their relationship. It can't be what it was before. Um,
Right.
so for some reason, that's what my spidey instincts are saying. That she's actually not a spy for Christine, but maybe for Mary.
That would be wild. It's funny too because like I've always looked to Mary and Chrishell's friendship and I've always wanted a friendship like that as I watched it play out for the seasons that it has. So I think that'd be interesting if it kind of goes in that direction too. Okay, all right. So we feel like this lady's working for someone. It's just a matter of who. But yeah,
Yes.
I feel
Yes,
like
exactly.
oh my
TBD.
goodness. Yeah, TBD. We're gonna find out who her boss is.
Yes,
Oh my gosh.
exactly. Should be
All right.
interesting. I do remember also Chrishell when they were filming season 6. She kind of went on a rant on Instagram story and posted how like she might be like kind of a villain or something in this season. So I think they're trying to kind of switch from Chrishell to this golden girl from Selling Sunset to maybe a villain. So I don't remember exactly what she said, but I remember doing a video about it. And there's definitely some tension when it comes to Chrishell during this filming of this season.
Well, and it kind of makes sense to like think about it. If you can't be, I mean, you can be the good girl for 5 seasons, but that's exhausting. And also, like, everybody loves a character shift and a character dynamic. So I'm sure that at some point, and why wouldn't it be now? Especially with Christine coming out of the show, it's very much like a reset in a way, and getting some new girls in.
Big time.
Um, this is a good opportunity to kind of reinvent the wheel a little bit and try to depict her and her actions in a different type of light for sure because why not? Because that's TV, baby. That's reality TV.
Yes, I agree.
I agree too. All right, let's keep going.
As a Christian, I find Bree's relationship rather off-putting.
She just can't take accountability for what comes out of her mouth.
She's mad that she got caught.
Exactly. Who I have children with is my business. I don't need a judge and a jury.
We're not a family.
Well, we actually were family.
I love Amanza. I feel like she's
I
in
love
the
her
show, but I
too.
feel like she gets like the least amount of screen time all the time. But I love Amanza so much. She just says it like it is. What do you make of that whole thing
Yeah, so it
with
seems like
Chelsea
we're
and
gonna have a Bree versus Chelsea moment. Will it be
Mhm.
all season long? Will it just be this and they'll become fast friends? I don't know. But I mean, I feel like it's a little judgy for like Chelsea just to go in there and just be like, oh, because of what I know about you from the tabloids, I'm going to judge you. That's a little
Yeah.
unfair in my opinion. And I've actually been a Chelsea fan, so I was a little disappointed by that. What do you think?
Well, so personally, I'm a Christian and I don't like it when Christianity gets thrown out like that because I'm like, at the end of the day, you're not helping us out. There's so many different sectors of Christians that get a bad rep and people think that just because you're affiliated with Christianity that you're like super judgy sometimes. That's a real annoying problem as a Christian myself. I try to think the opposite. I'm like, I actually don't judge anybody, nor would I ever insert my faith to try and change anybody's opinion or to judge anybody myself. Like, if you're really
Yeah,
a
I do
Christian, you
feel
should
like
be
she's
solid with yourself and
perpetuating
with your
that.
faith. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why would you throw that around like that? What good does that do you? Um, and I don't know. I just think that
Yeah.
that's a reach and a stretch too. I'm
I
just
feel
like,
like it's
I don't like
unfair,
that.
outdated. It's almost giving me like Real
Yeah.
Housewives of Miami vibes. I don't know if you watched that,
Mhm.
but like when like Larsa was like calling the other housewife like having a kid out of wedlock and it being like this big thing. Like we're in 2023. People have families all different ways. Like you don't know
Yeah, there's
what
nothing
Bree's
wrong with it.
situation is and what led her to have a baby with Nick Cannon. You just don't know, and I think it's unfair to kind of assume things, you know?
Exactly. And I mean, at the end of the day, it's just not her concern. And why would that have anything to do with how Bree sells a house? You know? Or I just don't get it.
Yes.
I really don't understand. And I don't know. I kind of like Brie. I love that. Look at that Chanel. You go, girl.
Looks
That is
incredible.
just she's literally dripping in Chanel. Um, but at the end of the day, like you said, I don't think that that's anybody's business, and I don't see why we're going to pass judgment on that. I mean, I don't get that at all. That just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, the other part of me though is really excited that they're gonna bring up like it's not gonna be like this, like, oh, we don't
Exactly.
talk about it. I'm glad that we're gonna
Right.
acknowledge, like, yes, this person had a baby with Nick Cannon, that is a big story in pop culture. Like, let's lean in. But the judginess I'm not a fan of, but like making sure that like it's not ignored. I think that would have been like such a missed opportunity.
I think so too. Well, like you and I've talked about before, I think that it's this is a really really good opportunity to bring it up, to really unpack like what the heck is going on behind closed doors. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Because
Mhm.
the last that I know of him, he was not this version. So I'm excited to be able to lean in and find out a little bit more about what's going on and who he is. Um
Could you imagine if we get like a
yeah.
Nick Cannon cameo?
I would love that so
Right?
much. I really really would love that.
Same.
That would
But
be
probably not. I
amazing.
mean, we never saw like Chrishell's like celebrity husband when they were married, like season one. So I think they tried to keep that separate. But
Right.
I would live for it.
Me too. Also, just as a reminder to you guys, we are live, so go ahead and comment. Let us know if there's anything in particular that you're excited about as
Yes,
we're
please.
unpacking this trailer. We love to hear and read your comments, and we will talk about it on screen. All right, let's go on.
Over lies, over falseness, over things that I don't understand or agree with. That's what triggers me.
This is my worst nightmare.
I'm not handling it.
Yes, you are.
You're handling it.
Oh, dang.
Okay, so let's kind of. That's a lot. All right, so first of all, let's start with what we just. Let's see. Where
That's
do we
like
want
kind
to
of
start?
a
Where do you want to
voiceover
start?
of just like,
That was a.
yeah, I mean, we're continuing kind of that voiceover of Chelsea and,
Mhm.
kind of her judging Brie, but it also shows a pan of Chrishell and G Flip, which I
Yeah,
really
is
hope
she
that is
judging
not
these
part.
two?
Yeah, I would not be down for that, and I'd be officially not a Chelsea stan like I have been in previous seasons. So I really they're definitely insinuating that. I'm hoping it's just, clickbait, but I'm hoping she doesn't go that far. That would be a little much. So a little worried about that situation. I just hope Chrishell can like stand on her own 2 feet and really like, she's living her best authentic life and not let anyone take anything away from her.
Yeah, I really, really hope that she's not coming and passing judgment on everybody like that. That would be so uncool. And like how oh my gosh, that's so gross. It's 2023. You can't I mean, you can do that,
Yeah.
but you shouldn't. I
Let's
mean,
let's
that
give
is
Chelsea
really,
the
really
benefit of the
wrong.
doubt for now,
Yeah,
but if
yeah.
but yeah, that was a lot. And then so we definitely see that we are gonna get a Chrishell and G Flip, like some scenes. We're gonna see them together, which
Yeah,
I'm all for. So excited to see kind of their dynamic. Especially like
me
if
too.
like a scene with them plus Jason, who was her very recent ex. I love
That's
some good love triangle awkwardness. I'm down for that.
me too. Might as well. I like that we're gonna get an insight and that we're going to be able to see what the heck their relationship is and how that kind of is unpacked. I want to know more about it. I mean, I know that they've been together for quite some time, but I want to know like
Yeah.
I hope we get walk down the lane of like how they met and then how who asked who out. Like I hope we get the backstory too. I'm sure we will
Yeah,
to
I
a certain
mean,
extent.
at
So
at the end of last season, so how they met is Chrishell was in G Flip's music video.
Oh,
And so it kind
aw.
of escalated from that. You have to watch their music video, it's pretty good.
Okay,
So
I'll
yeah,
watch the music
definitely
video.
excited just to see more about them. And then we have a Mary and Jason fight. What do you
Yes,
think of
what the
that?
heck is going so, I think that oh my gosh, I don't know. The fact that Mary called him that at the end is of that clip is crazy. I'm not saying that she's crazy for doing that, but you know that she got pushed to a point for her to say that to him.
Oh, for sure.
Um,
It's mhm.
yeah, I'm really shocked that they have a fight like that, and I don't know. I just think that I personally think that maybe him giving her control of the office, I don't feel like she necessarily wanted that for some reason. My gut says based
Hmm.
on what
Okay.
we're seeing, I feel like she doesn't want that. Or or they didn't talk it out. They didn't talk it out thoroughly, or maybe she was sold on the idea that like maybe she's only taking it over for like a small period of time and now there's more, or she's getting blamed for something that wasn't part of the deal that they talked about. I think that there's a piece of missing
Yeah.
information there. Does that make sense?
I agree. Yeah, with that last part, I feel like I do
Mhm.
think that she's like a hustler and she wants to make it to the top. So,
Yeah.
this kind of new role leads her to that. But maybe I could see, it's probably not the best feeling of like you're taking over and the kind of like Jason's off like gallivanting in Europe and you're like
Yeah.
kind of all of a sudden alone. Like all of a sudden, like, did I actually sign up for this? Maybe kind of taking advantage of her kindness and their relationships, of her maybe taking on more than the role is meant to. And it
Mhm.
seems like they're having a disagreement over some type of conflict in the office and who's going to deal with it. So it'll be interesting. I especially with they're both of their relationships with Chrishell are so complicated and in depth. I could see it being over a Chrishell conflict just because there's
Mhm.
so many like complicated layers to that. But I don't know. I mean, I love like people love to watch these dynamic relationships. They were dating at some point and then not, and then he was dating her best friend, and then now I mean, these relationships are not one note. So there's a lot of
Mhm.
kind of depth to that and what they could be arguing about with like they could be arguing about one thing, but what the real reason is might not even be as obvious as we think it is. You know what I mean?
I think so too. I mean, there's another side where it could be that he maybe wants for her to go in and kind of mediate and settle the office drama, and maybe that's why he's going away. Like I don't know that part. I'm just bringing in another idea and another perspective, and maybe she's not wanting to settle the office drama. I mean, for that, like at that point, you would need more money for your job. I mean, that's almost being a therapist at that point too with these girls. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he's thinking that if he steps away completely, I don't know, maybe there's something going on too business wise. Like, oh, if you can settle this office drama, then you can prove that you can do this and do that, or you can have more of
Yeah.
pay or something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
I
And
don't
I
know.
I think I remember seeing an interview somewhere. Sorry, I always like pull these things out of it. I just like my For You page
No,
is
that's
all
good though.
reality TV all the time. I remember Jason having an interview saying, initially when the show was, pitched and kind of planned out, they were not Jason and his brother. I'm like blanking his brother's name, but they were not going to be like characters. They were going to be almost just, they see them and they're like the owners of the office. It's like their thing, but not necessarily in the drama. And I think with Jason dating Chrishell last year, it really got to a point where like, whoa, we're like all of a sudden in this drama and that was not the plan for this show. So I could almost see that as also being a layered reason of maybe Jason taking a step back because it was not his intention when starting the show for him to be so involved in, the storylines.
Well, and I feel like, and it's Brett, by the way. I blinked
Oh,
there for a
thank you.
second too. I was
Thank
like,
you.
wait, but there's a reason for that. I think it's because Brett just doesn't really do much. Like anytime that I feel like I'm watching this show and there's a scene going on, like either he's there with Jason, maybe they'll have like a scene, the two of them talking or whatever, and I cannot tell them apart. I mean, on Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, I could tell them apart. These two can't tell them apart. I have no clue who's who. Um, but they're so identical. But I feel like it's always Jason that is the one that's being involved and that's in that has more screen time and everything like that. I think that Brett definitely doesn't take as much involvement as Jason. Like you said, I think that maybe this is an attempt at pulling back and trying to see like, okay, can we get the work done and not be here? It's
Yeah, for sure. And I
craziness.
don't know if this is a flex or not, but I could totally tell them apart. I kind of feel really proud of
Really?
myself now. I
We're
can.
gonna have to figure that out because I'm gonna need for you to send me a write up and like point and show me what's different because I
Yes, I'll
cannot
do
tell
my
them apart to
best.
save my life. Okay, we'll talk about that then. Thank you. Yeah, I
Of
cannot.
course. Yeah, so
Okay,
it should
good.
be interesting to see how these relationships develop with these different change in dynamics for sure.
Definitely. I agree. All right, let's go ahead. Let's keep going.
Don't go there.
Nicole, I will go there every time, and I'm not scared of you at all.
Holy why is everyone just going at each other? Just get along. You like that fuse? Boom!
All right. I think that the light that fuse boom, despite her potentially being a little bit controversial, I think that that was like the perfect way to end that trailer.
Iconic.
Um and they said basically everybody's fighting with one another.
Yeah, I honestly don't like correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember seeing Chrishell being that intense with anybody. Even when she was feuding with Christine, I feel like we haven't seen that full side of her. What about
I
you?
think we haven't. And here's the thing. I love Chrishell. Right now I'm a Chrishell fan. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm a little afraid that might change this season. And then I don't know who and then I'm going back and I'm clinging on to Amanza. I love Amanza.
Oh,
Then I'm
she's
just gonna
our
revert to her.
unproblematic queen.
She's just funny. She just literally is like the voice of reason. She's like God. She chimes in. She watches it all. Every once in a while, she'll say something funny, and then she's gone for 10 minutes, and then she comes back. Um, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
but Chrishell in this exchange with Nicole, and for her to do that in front of everybody too, like remember the exchange that she had with Christine? I think it was from like season 1 or season 2. It was season 1. It was like the very beginning of the show because I actually just started rewatching it for fun,
Oh,
like a
did you?
month
I need to
ago.
do that.
Yeah, this is a fun one. I love it, and there's so much to unpack, and these girls are so like intricate. So I find something new with each time I rewatch it. But so I just started rewatching season 1, and like the fight that she had with Christine was like so like little bo peep, like take the high road kind of thing, like very like I'm not going to let you put me down type of thing. Like this is coming as like very confrontational now with Nicole. Like I think that I don't want to say that Chrishell's like lowered herself. I think that she's just tired of dealing with other mean girls, but I think that it's starting to show. Does that
Yeah,
make
I think it
like
could
sense?
be yeah, I think it's maybe even growth of like she feels
Yeah.
confident enough to stand up for herself.
Yeah.
And,
And I'm
it
glad.
seems like yeah, it seems like Nicole's really going after her and I think we probably only scratched the surface in this trailer. So, good for her for standing up to herself. I have always been a
Mhm,
Chrishell fan too. Um
mhm,
it is possible that, her fan base will might be able to get a little divided this season. Maybe there'll be a
mhm.
team Chrishell, team Nicole situation. But from what I've seen from Nicole, I don't like her energy. It seems like,
I
I
don't
don't
either.
know, something's not genuine about it. It seems like it's coming from a bad place.
Well, and I just feel like I have a I personally have an issue when somebody's looking to just harp on somebody or call someone out like immediately. Like there's no I feel like with Nicole there's no reaction and processing time. You know what I mean? I think that
Mm,
she's just very more like I don't gosh, not me trying to use a football term on the offense or the defense. She's always going after her. You know what I mean? Like I don't
yes.
want I don't like energies like that. I like for if somebody's having a conversation, you both kind of process and take in what the other person said and then you speak. I feel like Nicole's very bitey. But again, that's
Yeah,
just
and
from what I see of her in the trailer.
for sure. And thank you again for that commenter about Nicole being the officiate to Mary's
Yeah.
wedding because I think that just adds so much layer. Like right now at this point is who is Mary going to stand up for? You know what I mean? Which side will she choose between Chrishell and Nicole? And so I think that will be really interesting.
and
Look at Heather. I love Heather's
Heather's
face.
face.
But at the
And
same
his
time,
face
we
says it
she's
all.
not part of any of the drama. I know earlier
No.
this month, or maybe it was even last month, she said she has not been. They're filming season 7 now, and she has not been asked back as of the last time I saw. So it almost kind of
Wow.
makes me wonder. At first I was like, why? But she has literally no storyline in this trailer, at least. We don't
Well,
see her say one thing.
I think for Heather too, personally, I think that she's with his name's Tarek, right?
Tarek, I
I
think
think
you say it, yeah.
Tarek. Okay, well, she's with him. My mom loves the HGTV stuff and everything like that, and my mom knows the whole spiel of like when he was with Christina on the coast and all this stuff. So, from everything that I've heard from my mom, it seems like she's just very pleasantly happy with him and like has her baby. So, I think that her and apparently they have a show together now too over on that network.
I
So,
saw that. I
I
haven't
think that
watched yet,
she's
but
just I know. I want to, and then hopefully we could talk about that. But I
yes.
think that she's just consumed with that now, and she's just like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep my nose clean. I'm happy. I've got a baby coming at this point in the show. She's had it now.
Yeah.
And I think that that's just kind of where she's at with everything. I think she's just like, whatever. I'll just sit and be here and get my airtime and collect my check, and then go home and be stoked about life. You know what I mean? She's probably
Yeah.
just more focused on that. Yeah, we
I've
don't
always
see
liked
anything about
Heather.
her in any drama. Me too.
Not
She's so
at
cute.
all.
She's just like a free little spirit. I love Heather.
Yeah, I do think it could potentially be a network issue too, between HGTV and
Mhm.
Netflix.
That's
But
true. That's very true.
should be interesting how it plays out and if they even try to like give her like an ending, or I mean, who knows? But yeah, very interesting. You would think they would
Mhm.
want her more because she was with another reality star, right? That kind of adds another
Yeah.
element. I loved seeing her and Tarek together last season.
I know. I know. They're so cute. I like him too. I like them together. I like
I do
them
too.
with one another. I think he's cute. But yeah, I don't know, girl. It looks like this is going to be quite an interesting season. And initially, I you and I mentioned before we got into this, we were kind of like, "Oh yeah, it was a trailer. It happened. It's going to be a thing." And then now I think come May 19th, I think we're in for it a little bit after we've like
I'm
really
all
watched it
in.
back and broken it down. I'm excited. I'm so
Okay,
excited.
let's do final predictions, okay? Just
Okay.
quick. Who is going to be the hero and the villain of this season?
Mm. The hero and the villain.
Yes.
I think Nicole's going to be the villain.
Okay.
I don't know who the hero is going to be. I think like
The
Heather would
hero's
be
a
the
big
hero
question
because
mark.
she's not problematic, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean that that's the hero. I hope it's Amanza. I just I
Same.
would love to see that. I really, really would. But I feel like Amanza she's part of the cast, but I feel like she just gets forgotten about because she kind of says things like it is, and she's not normally wrong when she does say things like she sees them. I don't know about the hero, but
Yeah.
I definitely think that the villain is going to be Nicole. That's going to be my prediction. What's yours?
Yeah. Out of the new girls, I think it's going to be Nicole. They're really putting it for all Brie, but I think Brie's going to surprise us. And honestly, villain,
Mhm.
I did not like the judginess. I'm going to call it for Chelsea. She did
Oh
not come
yeah,
off great in this trailer. And the hero's the hardest part, but let's go with Chrishell. I only wish her the best.
I hope so. I hope it continues to be Chrishell. I love her.
For sure.
I really, really hope so. I like your predictions. That was a good way to close this out. I like that with the final predictions. Well, we'll see. This does come out on May 19th on Netflix. So thank you so much for joining me and for breaking this down. I'm so excited, and I'm excited to be able to come back and have more conversations about it once this show comes out for season 6. And thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure that you guys are commenting down below. Let us know anything in the trailer that you saw. If you guys have predictions on who the hero and the villain's going to be, if there's anything that we said that you guys agree with or even disagree with, let us know down in the comments. And we'd love to read your thoughts and opinions here at Shared News. And make sure that you guys have liked this video. Make sure that you're subscribed, hit the notifications, and you guys can also follow us on social media. Our handles are right there on the screen. And yeah, we will see you guys in the next video. So thank you again for watching and see you next time. Bye, guys.
Yeah.